I had to go to school barefooted.
What?
Yes. The typical shoes didn't work for me because of how my foot was. So I had to find custom-made shoes. My first day at school was pretty much, I had to wear 1 foot of shoes on one leg and walk on the grass
Wow.
with the other leg. So when I'm going to school, I walk on this side. When I'm coming from school, I walk on the other side because the grass would have been more of a comfort or cushion to the street that I had to walk on. Not having, your mother around, not having your father around, not being surrounded by that love that you would get from your 2 biological parents.
Okay.
I don't know what that feels like.
You are welcome to The Voyage. Today's podcast will be very inspiring and challenging. It is actually easy out there that on social media, people see the shining reels, people see the shiny shoes, people see the celebrities, the influencers, but nobody cares to know about the background story. Nobody cares to know about the things that people went through before they become who they are. Today's guest has gone through so many challenges. Many people have written him off that he cannot become someone. He had to overcome physical disabilities. He also have to live without the presence of a father. Even he has to go through a grief, losing a dear mother. And yet, he was able to overcome all of these challenges. And top of it all, he also have to migrate to the US and begin all over again. Join me as I welcome Chef Omar to the set of The Voyage. You are welcome, brother. This is going to be fun and exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invite.
So this is not just about food. Yes, we are going to talk about food, but it's also about inspiration, it's about resilience, it's about overcoming challenges, and it is also about consistency in your craft, and it is also about not giving up, even when nobody believes in you. So, Omar.
Yes, sir.
I see all of those Jamaican delicious meal. Yes. And I said, man, who is the brain behind all of this delicious meal?
That's me. That's
awesome.
Absolutely.
So let's take a step back.
Yeah.
And let's go back to the beginning when the Omar was just a young boy. Take us through the memory lane. What are your cherished memories when you look back? What was your upbringing environment look like? Can you take us through that memory lane?
Yeah, sure. Growing up for me, I wouldn't say it was easy.
Okay.
It was very different. Mainly because I was different. All the children, all my peers around me, everybody looked normal in some sense, but I wasn't normal as everyone would, expect or presume you to be. So I had a different fight that was very different from every child that was around me, our children around me. Their fight would have been like. For me, it was mainly trying to gain confidence. Trying to be included, trying to be involved, because for me, I wasn't always the first to be considered.
I see.
In any scenario.
Wow.
But overall, I think I had a very decent childhood when it compares to many others, because sometimes we think that we're the worst.
True.
Until you meet somebody who's worse than you.
Right.
And for me, I feel like I started to realize that when I started to meet people who I think could presume were in a more difficult situation that I was in. So I started to appreciate how I was first. So at first it was difficult because, not having, your mother around, not having your father around, not being surrounded by that love that you would get from your 2 biological parents.
Okay.
I don't know what that feels like. I had to accept that from somebody who was very older than my mother would have been. So for me, it was very challenging trying to, be that young boy that everybody wanted me to be, because eventually I knew that I had to come out to something because my story was different from everybody else. So there was a reason why that was the case. So I have to find it within myself how to make that story what it is today.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
So thinking back, is there a particular instance or a memory that flashes through your mind when you think of your childhood that still brings smiles to your face?
Smile. Yes. I feel like it's I would say it's a mixture of like smile and like a little pain too, because I feel like there's one memory that I will always remember, and that's the fact that I started school, which was kind of crazy to say, but like for me, I feel like starting school was different from how the typical student would have started school. I didn't go to the first set of schooling, which was in Jamaica, that would be called basic school. That would be the first schooling that you have to experience as a child growing up in Jamaica. For me, I started at primary school, which is straight to grade 1.
Okay.
All right. So I wasn't exposed to school in that kind of public setting prior to me going to primary school. So my first day of school was very interesting because I had to go to school barefooted.
What?
Yes. I had
barefooted?
Yeah. And I wouldn't say... It was half barefooted. You know what I mean? So one foot had shoes on and the other one didn't.
Oh.
Yes. So because nobody thought that I could have worn shoes. Nobody thought. First of all, nobody thought I could have walked.
Wow.
So when I made my first step at 1 year old, it was my grandmother who was there to witness everything. That's when the change became a thing. Okay. So I had to learn how to wear shoes now. So, but the typical shoes didn't work for me because of how my foot was. Okay. So I had to find custom-made shoes. So my first day at school was pretty much, I had to wear 1 foot of shoes on one leg and walk on the grass with the other leg. So when I'm going to school, I walk on this side. When I'm coming from school, I walk on the other side because the grass would have been more of a comfort or cushion to the street that I had to walk on. Wow. So during those periods was some of my darkest time because probably because I was mocked. I'm a child, I'm a kid, and it's expected from other children around. I was mocked based off just walking with one shoes on and the other one off. But like, while I was there, walking to and from school, it kind of like, it was just like something fueling me. At least I'm walking. Wow. Because I've met people to this day who cannot walk.
Interesting.
And guess what? They have 2 foot.
Wow. At that age, you were able to have that perspective.
Yes.
That even though I'm not able to walk properly in quotes,
yes.
Even though kids even though kids around bully me,
yep.
But yet I am still grateful because there are people out there
worse. And we used to go to like trips because I was very active in church when I was younger. So for me, we used to take trips to like Bellevue, which is this place where most people who are like disabled, sick, and stuff like that resides. And when I go to those spaces, I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Because now I'm seeing. I thought I was bad. You know what I mean? But now I'm seeing like worst, but they are happy being in their worst because their worst probably is their best. You know what I mean? So I left with that motivation, like, I may not have this normal look, I may not function like how everybody else function, but there's something that I am, that I can do, that makes me completely different from whoever else is comparing himself to myself.
And what age were you at this time?
Probably like 9, 10.
And you were able to have such level of perspective
Yes.
and gratitude
Yes.
that even though you were in this condition, you were still grateful because there were some other people who are in a worse off
Yes.
situation.
Yes. That opened my eyes. And ever since, I've just always been motivated, and I've always identified when I'm in a situation where I can help or I can be better or I feel better. It may not be that way, but just seeing the situation because I know where I'm coming from will automatically make me feel that level of gratitude.
So as we begin to explore the things that makes Chef Omar to be Chef Omar that we know today, the older that I get, is that the more I'm convinced that words can become prophecies.
Absolutely.
That the words that people say can actually shape situation and people's circumstances and future.
Yes.
Some words build people, and whereas some words actually tear people down.
Yes.
Right. And, you once shared that a vice principal once told you that you will never become anything.
Yes.
Can you walk me back into that room?
So I was in high school at that time, and she was the acting vice principal at the time. And I don't remember what exactly I went to the office for. I think it was probably because I had shaved my eyebrow.
Okay.
Yes. I had shaved my eyebrow, which is basically putting 2 lines inside of my eyebrow when I was in high school. So I went to her office for disciplinary action.
I see.
And she looked at me and she told me that I would not amount to anything. And at that age, hearing that, it kind of create a little dent in your confidence, because this is a place that you should be getting all the motivation, all the encouragement, all the advice that you would be required to take to your next level. And here I go getting the opposite of that.
Wow.
And at that time, I used to believe that I was going to be an artist. So I was a songwriter and DJ at the time. And in my head, I believed that I'm going to become a celebrity at some point. And I looked at her in that office because I think that was okay for me to say. And I said to her, I'm going to get so big in life that your daughter is going to want me. Of course, I get suspended for a week. I did that, because I feel like from what I had experienced growing up, I feel like she opened up that room for me to, be a child or be a young man. Yeah. And I responded to her in that manner, and she looked at me and said, "Oh no,
never.
My daughter would not want you." And those situations give me motivation in life.
Wow.
I don't know what her daughter looked like to this day, but I'm sure if she was ever in that path of Voyage, the likelihood of it happening is likely. But that's neither here nor there. But in reality, that was one of the moments that really opened my eyes to realize that sometimes the places that you might go have a lot of impact on you. So the schools that you go to that you would expect to be learning, or you'd be expecting to be the space where your child get to be a child, or you that teenager become a teenager, can be the same place that tears them down sometimes.
True.
Yes.
True.
And for me, it was a little bit, I guess I was on the rocky part at that point because I didn't graduate from high school, not because I couldn't, but because the system at the time was a case where if you're not recommended to graduate are based off your attitude towards, teachers and all that stuff, you wouldn't fit the criteria to participate in their graduation ceremony. And I was one of them kids who didn't.
Wow.
Didn't get any CXC recommendation either because they thought that I wasn't, I would say, bright enough.
Interesting.
Yes. So back then it was a case where you have to be recommended to do a CXC subject. I don't know if that's the case right now, but I feel like that was something I know I could have done, but it was all about preference. And I had to take the other route to get them same CXCs that I needed to go to college later on.
Omar, if that assistant vice principal walk into this room right now, what will you say to her?
Thank you. Thank you. I maybe ask if her daughter is still available. No, I probably wouldn't, but I would definitely say thanks because them words definitely live with me to this day. And I've been in school for 5 years in high school, and I can't recall any other word that I can remember from a teacher.
Wow.
But them ones is definitely the ones that I can always recall.
That's interesting. That a word that was supposed to pull you down actually serves as a launching pad and a motivation for you.
Because words are powerful. And the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue.
True.
And she probably spoke death.
True.
But I spoke life.
Wow.
Yes.
It's all about perspective.
Perspective. Because I could have taken that and applied to my life and said, she said, I'm not going to become nothing in life. Guess what I'm not going to do? Become nothing because somebody told me that. But I can think about the many times somebody else told me, you're going to be great. You're going to be good. You're going to be the best version of yourself. You're going to do well in whatever you choose. And the good always outweigh the bad.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Interesting. I'm really curious that you were able to graduate from, have your first degree, your master, have your degree, right, in food science.
Yes.
Right. And you are doing well in your chef as a chef right now.
Yes.
I'm curious that even though you said that what that vice principal said actually serves as a motivation and inspiration for you, was there any time that voice or that statement attempt to actually draw you back or discourage you?
In the early phase, yes. While I was still in school, yes. So I wasn't at the final level of school as yet. So I was probably in grade 10, needed to go to grade 11. And I guess that actually influenced me not graduating from high school too.
I'd say.
Because I'm young. You tell me I'm not going to become nothing. I mean, I guess why not? I was involved in gangs. I was not going to school when I'm supposed to go to school. And that is based off other factors also, not just school, but other factors around, not having that level of support or not having that financial support from, the people that you should have in your life. So that phase, there was points when those words meant something to me. But then after I leave high school, I realized that I cannot live in that level of darkness because there's light out there. And I walk right into that light to this day.
Interesting.
Yes.
In life, we all go through different seasons of trials. And there are trials that actually break some people down and they're unable to bounce back.
Absolutely.
And there are people that use that trial as a launching pad, a turning point for their life. While you were in school, you worked night to be able to pay your tuition. You have to survive on bare minimum.
Yes.
And even at a point in time, a landlord was about to even kick you out of the house because you could not pay your rent.
Yes. Yes.
I'm curious. What was those moments and those seasons like for you when the future looked so bleak?
For some reason, I think that my future have always started out looking like that from the get-go. It's never a clear path that is set before me where I have that confidence to relax because I know this is there already.
Wow.
There's no foundation set for me. So for me, is a case where I'm building the foundation for my own self, which is something that is not easy because now you're working twice as hard to build the foundation while you lay on it. And I think that's how my journey had really started because when it comes on to school or starting college, that was just a goal of mine from deep down. When I realized that I leave high school without the prerequisite to go into college, I had to go back to do evening classes to get those prerequisite to get into college.
Interesting.
So what I spent 5 years doing in school, I did all of it in 1.5 years.
What?
Yes. So in order to go to college in Jamaica, it requires 5 CXC subjects, which include math and English. Mind you, when I leave high school, I have nothing. So I had to do a 3-hour class a day and then sit with the regular students at the end of the year to do the exams.
Wow.
And I did 4 the first year, pass 3, fail 1, fail math. And then the second year I went back for 3 more because I was like, if I fail 1, I should still get 2. And I went the second time when I get all 3. So now I would have 6 CXCs, which is only 5, which is required to go to college. And then immediately I applied for college, got through with nothing. I'm like, whoa, so what am I doing to myself? You know what I mean? I could barely make it through high school. Now I'm thinking about the bigger picture, which is college.
Yeah.
And, of course, I started with only, I would say $100 and something thousand in my savings from working in the hotel in Jamaica. And I put 100 towards my tuition and 50 towards just buying the prerequisite to go into school, bags, school, shoes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I started. I was working at a hotel in Jamaica at the time, and the chef gave me a shift to work overnight, since as I won't be able to work in the morning. And I was like, I can't do this because I have school at 8 in the morning. And he was like, well, I can't do anything for you then. And I resigned, and then I started cooking for the college that I was going to. So I became the school chef.
Really?
Yes. So I was going to school in the morning at 6 in the morning and had class at 9. So for 3 hours, I would cook for the day's school cafeteria.
What?
And then after school, I would prep. And I would go to choir rehearsals, and then I repeat the same cycle. That's how I paid off my first year of tuition. Because in that time when I was a school chef, I wasn't getting paid cash. The money I was working was going towards my tuition. Yes. So when that is paid off, I was like, all right, cool, what's next? I applied for the sister property for the hotel that I was working at. I knew I wasn't gonna get it because the chef that, I was working with prior, he was the same executive chef for this new property.
I see.
So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get a job. I walked over there, and because I used to work with the property before, I would require his approval.
Okay.
And I did the interview, and they called me back and said I got the job. I'm like, whoa, so he don't like me. He actually don't. I was like, he actually liked me then, and it was so bad that he came to that property, saw me, and didn't even look at me. I was so mad.
Really?
Like, what's wrong with you? And it was years after, while I was in college, we had a cooking show in Kingston. And his booth was next to the chef I was working with. And I was contemplating if I should go and say hello to him. And I remember the chef, Chef Walker Barrett, she looked at me. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, go talk to him. I'm like, yeah, go see. And I went over there and be like, hey, chef. And he was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you. I'm like, yeah. Right. Yeah, you're happy for me now. Yeah. Yeah, but like, it has been that kind of journey for me. It has been a case where I've been disappointed so many times, till I even thought I was a disappointment.
Wow.
But it's how you see yourself that matters the most. Wow. And I've always seen myself like, I'm something.
Wow.
I matter.
Wow.
And the fact that I see myself as such, I don't care how anyone else view me.
Wow. Amazing.
Yes.
Omar, there is someone watching you right now, and either a father or a mother or a teacher have said something that has become a weight and a burden on their heart, and they could not just get it off. And they also look at their life and say, wow, I'm a disappointment, and their future is so bleak. Reflecting on your own journey so far, what will you say to such a person?
That's very simple. Your struggle don't define you. How you respond to it does. Again, your struggle don't define you. How you respond to your struggle, that's what defines you. So it's like whatever you're going through right now could be the motivation for somebody else tomorrow.
Wow.
So you might be thinking, life is down, life is sad, I don't have no money, I'm broke, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna get a career, I'm not gonna get a job, I'm not gonna get a wife, I'm not gonna get kids. But it's how you internalize that experience. Speak life into yourself. The words, your environment, sometimes you gotta remove yourself from certain environment. If you're around an environment or a place or friends or family or whatever, that's not putting you in that space, that's uplifting, remove yourself. Wow. Nothing is wrong with that. And sometimes you gotta remove and replace. Sometimes we remove, but we don't replace it with anything, so we have a void.
Interesting.
You're gonna fill that void with something. So whatever you replace, whatever you take out of your life, replace it with something more fulfilling. And remember that nothing defines you than you.
Amazing. Nothing defines you than you.
Absolutely.
Wow. I think that one of the cruelest surprises in adulthood is that that not everybody that claps for your success is actually to work. They're actually willing to walk you through your struggles. That it's not everybody that's clapping for you that are willing to walk with you as you go through your struggles. You mentioned earlier on that because of some people's reaction to you, you've been disappointed so many times, and that, people that you were even expecting to support you, the support never came, right, from them. And you wrote that as immigrants, that you have to work twice as hard to be seen, to be visible,
yes,
to be recognized,
absolutely,
and to even be acknowledged.
Yes.
Walk me through what that looks like for you in your journey, and what does that do to a man's spirit as an immigrant trying to survive and just get your head above the water?
That's a very interesting journey, because I never thought I would have been in that situation. Basically, where I'm walking the immigrant journey.
Yeah.
And for those who know, they know that it's not an easy path to take. Moving to a space, a country that you've never been or lived or have family or friends or any connection, but you're here.
Yeah.
Has to be the most mind-blowing thing ever.
Wow.
When I came here, I just came here for my internship. So I came here for following my journey.
Okay.
I came here for my culinary internship that was supposed to last for a year. Following year we had an earthquake. Then the pandemic followed immediately after that. That's basically one of the bases why I'm still here. When I came here first, I was alone.
Wow.
I didn't thought I was going to be. I know I was going to a space where I know nobody, but a part of me think that it's going to be easier. I remember trying to get my first apartment in Nashville. they said that you have to be making 3 times the amount of the rent. And I'm like, at that moment, I'm making $11 an hour.
Wow.
Ain't no way. And that's when I met one of my coworkers at the job I was working at. I'll always remember him, Abdul. He's from Tanzania. He's a cool guy. You know, I needed somebody to co-sign for my lease.
Wow.
And he did. And I had that much confidence that I will never let this decision that he made backfires on either one of us. So if it's one thing I'm going to do is to pay my rent.
Sure.
There were days when the pay that I was getting from doing my internship wasn't enough. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment. And on weekends, I would turn my bedroom into an Airbnb unit.
Really?
Yes. So, and there was an old car outside the apartment that was for somebody else. I was sleeping in that car at nights while the guests utilized the room that I had.
My goodness.
Yes. I did that up until November because I just had to find a way,
Wow.
you know, to pay
Rent.
It's not like I wasn't, you know, surviving, but it just wasn't enough. I feel like I had to do something else. And my goal was to not struggle too long. I had to struggle. But the support that he gave me that jump start.
Wow.
He's my brother to this day. And I'll forever be grateful for people like those. When I came here, he was the first sign of hope that I got.
Wow.
That people can be genuine towards other people without having any motive behind it. And when I can do the same for others, I will always do my best where that is concerned, because this journey here is not easy. Moving to this country is not easy. Working here is definitely not easy. And by extension, trying to be a chef here is not easy because, of course, everybody loves Nashville hot until they meet jerk chicken. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but I feel like I'm on a part now where I understand it. I can put it into words and I can put it into action, and that's a place where I'm at right now, where I feel wholesome. I feel like I can trust my process a little bit more, because at first I couldn't, but now I can, because I've experienced and I've walked the walk. So now I can talk that walk.
Wow, that's
Absolutely.
amazing. So at a point in your life, you have to move out of your apartment, stay in another person's car, and use your room,
My room.
as an Airbnb.
Yes.
Where you are sleeping in the car.
Well, my best friend is sleeping in the living room, and the second room that was in the apartment was rent out to somebody else.
Oh my goodness.
So the whole house was occupied without me. Yep. I live that.
That is amazing.
And that's something that people will never know until this day. Because
And that is why we are doing this.
that's exactly why we're doing it, because it's like people will see the finished product. They will see that plate, they will see that dish and be like, wow, it's so good. Wow, it tastes really good. But they don't see the prep. They don't see the hours of marinating. You know, so nobody will ever see my marination period.
Wow.
They see the plated version of it. They see the end result. They're like, oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. But they don't see the 24 hours, 24 months that I spent in all this brine, salt, sometimes spice, sometimes sugar, just to have this voice, this taste, this look, this image. Yes.
Wow.
You have to
That
feel it
is
to know it.
amazing.
Absolutely.
And you know, people that may not know this part of your story will definitely come to appreciate
Yes.
the passion, the love that goes into your meal, that what you have gone through, you are not just preparing meal, but it is an expression of love.
Right.
We will get there, because I see we will get there. But I'm curious, what was your first, maybe something that actually shocked and surprised you when you first arrived in the US?
Laziness.
Come on, say that again.
Laziness.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me more.
I remember I was at a gas station once, and this young man came up to me. This was like 2 months after I arrived here. He came up to me and he was like, "Hey, can you spare me some change?" I'm like, "Okay. I mean, I can, but there's a but."
Okay.
The property that I'm working for, they're hiring. And they're looking for a dishwasher. And he was like, "How much are they paying?" So the moment he asked me that, I realized that you have sense. So you're not crazy. You're not, you're probably homeless, probably not, but you're not insane. You know, you have sales that's working. And he said, "How much they're paying?" I said, "I can't tell you, but I'm sure they're paying above $11 an hour because that's what I was making as an intern. So I'm sure they're paying more for an employee." And he looked at me and he was like, "I'm not coming to work in a hotel to wash hella dishes for $11 an hour." And this is me with my change in my pocket thinking about it. You can't get my change. You cannot get my change. Because first of all, you're from here, born here, live here, and you don't want to work here. No, I come from a different country to work here, to live here temporarily, and I should give you my change that you are willing but unable to work for? Nah, I can't give it to you. And I'm like, you know how many people who are in other countries, and I can speak about Jamaica, who would love to trade spaces with you. You could go to Jamaica, go be homeless in Jamaica, but let me come here and be a resident so I can use the opportunity that is here to benefit myself and family. And I see how much the people underestimate what they have here.
Wow. People underestimate what they have here in the US.
Here. If you realize how much people are yearning who spend money just to get a visa to come to this country that failed and still try again, not knowing what they're coming into, not knowing that they might come into an opportunity like me where you have to figure it out on your own. Probably there's nobody to give you a jump start. It would be great if you find somebody who can show you around, but most times you won't if you're not putting yourself in that environment to do that. So when I say laziness is also something that I experience working here too. And I see how diverse the workforce is and how little the people from this country are involved in my work field I can speak of, which is, for example, my kitchen. You know, how many of the people
American
who are not,
citizens who are born and bred here, they are not willing to work in the kitchen space.
No. It's
because
all immigrants.
It's hard work?
Because it's real work.
Real work.
So they like to work, but they don't like to do real work.
Wow.
Yes.
So that was one of the things that actually shocked you.
To this day.
The level of laziness of the Americans.
Yes.
Born and bred here.
Yes.
And that they undervalue the opportunities that they have.
I would tell them to give up their citizenship and give it to somebody else who needs it. I'm not saying.
So Omar, what do you now say to people that say, "Oh, all of these immigrants, they are coming here to the US to take over our jobs"?
They're not taking it over. They're occupying it. Because tomorrow, if you want it, you will get it. Because you're definitely the first hand of it. So we're not taking it away. It's available.
Wow.
And anything that's available can be taken.
Sure.
So if you want it, go for it. If you don't want it, leave it to those who want it. Leave it to those who are open to go for it. And that has never been a thing that affects me, because I feel like if there wasn't an opportunity, there wouldn't be anything for anyone to take away.
True.
So nobody's taking away anything from anybody. They're just occupying it until if you want it, you can come back and get it. But by the time you come back and get it, we're ready to go too. So, you know, we're always on the move. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll still explore more of your culinary flavors. But before we get there, I think grief is one of the few things in life that refuses to follow a schedule.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't announce it.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't announce it. It doesn't care if you are working. It doesn't care if you are busy. It doesn't even care if you are trying to be strong. It will just knock. And even if you are the richest person on earth, they said Elon Musk is the richest man on earth right now.
Right.
When death knock on the door of Elon Musk,
You have to answer.
all of his billion or trillion dollars
Means nothing.
will not be able to stop death. Omar, you talk about crying in the kitchen on a Christmas day because it was your mother's birthday.
Yes.
And that she was no longer alive.
Yeah.
And when you look at this picture, what does it also bring to your mind?
Strength, resilience.
And that is your grandmother, right?
Yes.
The mother that actually, she was the one that raised and nurtured you.
Yes. She's my mother. And my father.
Wow.
She played both roles. She did everything that she could do to make sure that I was taken care of. That's something that your parent should do.
True.
Having to call somebody else your parent who is not your biological parent is a big weight to carry. But I never once feel like she wasn't carrying it for me. She was right there with me up until the day that she went home. She literally made me who I am today.
Wow.
In faith, being a man, cooking, cleaning, just caring for myself was something I had to learn while I was living with her. I was basically the last child that she took in, and I was basically her last child.
Wow.
I remember when she was on the hospital bed, it was May 2011. I went to look for her on my birthday. And for the 2 weeks that she was in the hospital prior, she didn't respond to anybody. So I went there and I held on to her hand. And she whispered my name.
Wow.
And I was like, yes, I'm here for you. And at that moment, I realized that you could be here today and gone tomorrow. But where she was going is where she wanted to go. Where she was going is where I want her to go. She's going to a better place. Because the pain that she was going through, she was diabetic. And what she was experiencing, I gave her 90% of the insulin that she took.
Wow.
While she had diabetes. I was right there from the beginning to the end of it. I didn't get to experience a lot of the things that kids my age were doing because I was always there with her. There are timelines that I have to be there in the morning and time that I have to be there in the afternoon to make sure that she's getting her insulin, that she's eating. And that's when I actually started to cook heavy because of her illness. And, just watching her going through the process with her diabetes. Sometimes when I give her the insulin and she tried to poke her leg, she might pierce a hole that was pierced before. And she's like, I'm like, yeah, I know that hurts. But then she has to rub that alcohol pad and look for another hole. I'm like she took it so much where that it's so easy for her to find the same hole twice.
Wow.
Just imagine how much time I have to be giving her insulin. And it was just a journey where I'm forever grateful for. you know, I don't miss not having a dad because she was that dad. I don't miss not having my biological mother around because she was there. My mother is alive, but it's just not the same as how it is with her.
Yeah.
You know, I remember after I got when I started getting tattoos, I was like, I don't have many things I could think of that has meaning that I could add to my body that, you know, people always ask, what does that mean? What does that mean? But I couldn't think of all the things I could get that has meaning towards it. And my son aside, the only thing I could think about was her.
Wow.
So pretty much this arm is definitely for her.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was no limit on it. You know what I mean? And she still lives with me today. I feel her energy. Christmas Day, that day at work was just like, you know, you think that you get over things in life. You think that you're healed. You think that you're safe now. You know, I'm going to go to work. And I went there and I was like, slow down. Because everything is good when life is busy. But the moment the traffic slows you down, you start to see the scenery, you start to hear voices, you start to hear the music, you start to see things that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
And we slowed down that afternoon and I was like, it's Christmas Day. What I would normally do on Christmas Day is celebrate her birthday when she was alive. And I'm here at work in a country where nobody is celebrating what I grew up celebrating right now. And the meaning for Christmas is different for everybody. But for me, Christmas is for her.
Wow.
And just being there standing, I was just like, tears just came from my eyes.
Wow.
You know, and I just run to the bathroom and just wash my face and get it off. And I came to realize that this happened twice. It even happened last year.
Wow.
Yes, it was the same time happened again. Same thing happened again. I was just like, you know, I have to feel what I'm feeling. And I never once not shy away from feeling how I'm feeling because I feel like it's important to feel this. And I'm sure she's always looking down on me. I'm sure she's proud. I'm sure she's happy. And I live for her. I live through her because she's the one who made me who I am today.
Wow.
And I'm sure she's proud of everything I've been doing and I've accomplished over the years. And so, unfortunately, I'm not able to cook for her anymore, but she's definitely smelling what I'm doing from wherever she is.
Amazing.
I'm sure she's in a better place.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
You said your right hand is for her.
Yes.
Meaning that you tattooed something about her on your right hand.
Yes.
What did you tattoo on your right hand about her?
I have a puzzled heart, basically with one piece of it apart, with her name inside of it, and a caption that wrote, "A piece of me left the day God called you home."
Wow.
Yes, and that's a piece of me that definitely left. So I might be whole, but there's a piece that's missing. But in spirit, she's here.
What is one lesson that you learned from her that you want to pass on to your son?
Have faith. Have faith. Faith is something that you have to live through. Faith without work is dead. So when I say have faith, I don't mean sit down and things will happen for you.
Yeah.
You have to get up, put that work in, and you will see a result. Because if faith without work is dead, that means if you don't work, you don't have no faith.
Yeah. Yeah.
But work for what you want. Nothing will be handed to you.
True.
And if you do that, whatever you don't have, you will receive because you're actually working.
Very true.
I have never not worked. because I never had anything handed out. I never had anything waiting. I never had a silver spoon anywhere, or a gold spoon anywhere, or a bronze spoon anywhere. I never had no spoon anywhere.
Wow.
You know, so I have to find a way to create my own. So the message that I would have for my son is, I'm going to do all that I can do to make sure that you don't have to say you don't know me. No matter what the scenario or situation might be, you will know me. But I will make sure that your journey is not similar to mine, because I'm going to be present however I can, whenever I can.
Amazing.
Absolutely.